All right, let's dive into something pretty cool today. Mechatronics Engineering. It's one of those things you hear everywhere, but
Yeah, it's kind of like,
it almost sounds too complex to even understand.
it does sound like something straight out of science fiction, right?
Yeah.
But it's really just about combining a bunch of engineering stuff to create some seriously impressive systems.
Okay, so you've been digging into this for us. What I'm getting is it's like mechanical engineering meets electronics, meets computer science. Am I on the right track?
Totally. You absolutely nailed it. Think of it like the ultimate engineering mashup, right? You take the best parts of mechanics and electronics and computer science. Oh, and don't forget control systems.
Yeah.
Blend it all together, and boom, you're designing intelligent systems.
Intelligent systems. Okay, now that's what piques my interest. What actually makes these systems intelligent, though?
That's the core of mechatronics, the big question. Like imagine a robot on, say, an assembly line. But this isn't some mindless machine, just repeating the same task on loop forever. This robot's actually analyzing data, picking out inefficiencies, even suggesting how to improve the whole manufacturing process.
Whoa, hold on. So it's like these systems, they don't just do, they think about the doing and how to do it better.
Exactly. It's all about building systems that learn and adapt, make themselves smarter and more efficient as they go. That's the real power of mechatronics.
I'll admit, when I hear mechatronics, my brain goes straight to robots in factories. But something tells me it's way more than just designing the next generation of factory workers, right?
You're right. It's a super common misconception. Robotics is a big chunk of it, no doubt. But it's seriously just the beginning. We're talking about a whole field bursting with different career paths.
Okay, spill it. What are some of these paths that might not be so obvious?
All right, so say you're fascinated by these complex systems in, manufacturing, but you don't want to build the robots. You could be an instrumentation engineer. They're the ones making sure those systems are running perfectly, like quality control, but super high tech.
Oh, so like a high-tech troubleshooter. Keeping all the pieces working together. What about someone who loves making things more efficient? Like someone who lives to streamline, automate, optimize, that sort of thing.
That sounds like a future automation engineer to me.
Yeah.
And the cool part, it's not just about factories. We're talking hospitals, farms, even entire cities needing this kind of streamlining.
Hold up, automation on farms. That's not something you hear every day. Tell me more.
Think about it, all those farming tasks,
Mm-hmm.
planting, watering, harvesting. Tons of it can be automated with mechatronics, leading to way more crops, less waste, even lower costs. It's changing the game for agriculture.
That's wild. Seems like the possibilities are pretty much endless. But okay, let's get practical for a sec. Someone's listening to us thinking mechatronics is my dream. What skills do they actually need to succeed in this field?
Well, you're not going to get around a really solid math and science foundation, but it's more than just being a math whiz. It's this blend of hard skills, the technical stuff, with soft skills, how you work with people.
Okay, so let's break that down a bit. First up, the technical side. Are we talking crazy advanced calculus, complex coding languages, all that?
You're on the right track. Got to have that calculus, especially for things like motion, forces, control systems. And yeah, coding's a must-have too.
So beyond the basics, what are some must-haves skill-wise for aspiring mechatronicists?
Let's see, you've got linear algebra, calculus, and differential equations. Those are key for analyzing and building these intricate systems. Oh, and AutoCAD. Mastering that software is non-negotiable.
For those who don't know, AutoCAD's like the gold standard for designing and documenting pretty much anything in engineering, right? So if you want to work in mechatronics, you got to know AutoCAD like the back of your hand.
100%. It's how mechatronics engineers bring their ideas to life, from the first spark to the finished product. It's like their design language.
Got it. So we've got the math, the coding, the AutoCAD. But you mentioned soft skills too. I think those often get underestimated, especially in a field that seems so technical at first glance. What are we talking about here?
You're telling me soft skills are crucial in mechatronics. Because you're not just dealing with equations or circuits in a vacuum, you're working with people.
Right. Even the most brilliant engineer needs to explain their ideas clearly, work effectively with a team. So what specific soft skills are we looking at?
Communication is king, no question. You got to be able to explain super technical things to people who don't speak engineer. Writing reports, giving presentations, even just casual chats with colleagues. Clear communication is everything.
It's true. You can have the greatest idea in the world, but if you can't explain it, what's the point? Okay, communication, check. Anything else?
Problem solving's huge. Mechatronics is all about finding those elegant solutions to complex problems. You need to think critically, analyze, come up with creative solutions. And then, of course, attention to detail. One tiny mistake in a complex system, that can snowball fast. Being detail-oriented is essential.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In mechatronics, things can spiral out of control so quickly with even the tiniest error. Gotta have that eagle eye to catch those issues before they become, like, major roadblocks.
It sounds like it takes this incredible mix of technical know-how and like people skills to really make it as a mechatronicist, not just the math and coding, but being a clear communicator, a creative problem solver. That's a pretty unique combo. Speaking of combos, we were talking earlier about mechatronics being this fusion of engineering disciplines. What's pushing the future of this field? What has you excited?
Oh man, the future of mechatronics is seriously exciting. We're talking about a world driven by AI, by super advanced robotics, by like the seamless connection of the Internet of Things. It's going to be huge. Okay, you've definitely got my attention. So paint me a picture here. How is mechatronics going to be changing our lives, say, in the next 10 years? What are we going to see in specific industries?
Let's start with healthcare. Imagine surgical robots so precise that they can make surgeries way less invasive so people recover faster. Or, okay, picture prosthetic limbs that look and feel so natural you can barely tell the difference, giving people back mobility and independence in ways we never thought possible.
It's pretty mind-blowing stuff. Sounds like we're on the edge of this golden age for medical technology, and it's all thanks to these advancements in mechatronics. What other fields are seeing these kinds of like revolutionary changes?
Agriculture is another one undergoing this massive transformation because of mechatronics. I'm talking about a future where, like, drones with crazy advanced sensors and imaging tech can analyze entire farms in one flight, spotting pests, diseases, even figuring which areas need more nutrients.
So instead of farmers having to walk their fields, checking for problems manually, they'll have these high-tech drones doing the hard work for them. What about the actual tasks, though? The planting, harvesting, all that. Can mechatronics automate those too?
Oh, for sure. Think about robotic systems planting seeds with pinpoint accuracy, making sure they have the perfect amount of space to grow, and then autonomous harvesters working around the clock, picking fruits and veggies at the absolute peak of ripeness. It's all about being more efficient, less wasteful, and producing more food overall.
It's incredible to think about. Like, mechatronics is going to change how we feed the planet. But I gotta ask, with all this talk of automation, what about the people who currently do those jobs? What happens to them?
That's a really important question. We can't shy away from it. As tech keeps advancing, there will be changes in the job market, right? Some jobs will become automated, but others will be created.
So it's not necessarily a case of robots replacing humans, but more about humans and robots working together in these new ways?
Exactly. Take agriculture again. As robots handle more of the, physical tasks, we'll see new opportunities open up in data analysis, robot maintenance, even developing new ag tech.
That makes sense. It's not about being scared of the future. It's about adapting and seeing those new opportunities.
100%. And that's where education and training come in. We've got to make sure people have the skills to thrive in this new landscape.
So if someone's listening thinking, this is awesome, but how do I even start preparing for a career in this? What advice would you give them?
I'd say first and foremost, nurture that curiosity. Dive into robotics, AI, automation. There's a ton of amazing stuff online. Articles, videos, even open source projects and online communities where you can connect with other people who are just as excited about this stuff.
It's like they say, the best way to learn is by doing. What about more formal education, though? Are there specific degrees or certifications that are super valuable in the mechatronics world?
A bachelor's degree in mechatronics engineering is a great foundation. It'll give you a solid understanding of all the core disciplines, like mechanical, electrical, and computer engineering.
Right, gotta have that well-rounded base, especially in a field like mechatronics that pulls from so many places. But what about someone who already knows they want to specialize, like, say, they're super into robotics or AI specifically?
If you've got that niche in mind, definitely. Going for a master's degree or specialized certifications can give you a real leg up. You can really dive deep into the advanced stuff, the really in-demand tech.
So there's a path for everyone from the, learn it all to the laser-focused specialists. That's really cool. We've talked a lot about what mechatronics is, what the future holds, all that. But I'm curious, from what you've seen, what are some of the biggest misconceptions people have about mechatronics engineering?
One of the big ones is definitely that it's all about robots, which, yeah, robots are cool, don't get me wrong, but that's just one piece. We're talking medical devices, self-driving cars, smart homes, the list goes on. If it's got mechanical, electronic, and computer systems working together, That's mechatronics.
It really is everywhere, like you said earlier.
And it kind of ties into another misconception that it's only for the, like, coding geniuses, the
Yeah.
people who dream in binary. I mean, yeah, you need a strong foundation in STEM, for sure. But mechatronics also needs those creative minds, the problem solvers, people who can actually explain these complex ideas in a way anyone can get.
It's not enough to just build the tech. You have to connect it with, the human experience.
Exactly. And honestly, those soft skills are only becoming more important in mechatronics. As the technology gets more complex, that ability to collaborate, to think critically, to adapt on the fly, that's essential.
It's not just building machines, it's about building the future, and that future needs to be both innovative and human-centered.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
This has been a fascinating look at mechatronics engineering. But before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with something to ponder. We've explored all this awesome potential, but like any powerful tool, we got to be mindful of the impact, right?
Absolutely. As we design systems that learn, adapt, even make their own decisions, thinking about those bigger implications is more crucial than ever.
So, to everyone listening, as you learn more about mechatronics, remember, you have a real role to play in shaping a future where technology and humanity move forward together. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time.